Okay. So for example, let's make this MPV should actually have changed. Oh, idiot me. I calculated the present value of the future cash flows, but I didn't deduct the cost of projects. That is NPV. See, it's yellow light. Even though it's positive, it's within plus or minus 2% of the cost of project. So let's make that 100, oops, 103,000. Oops, I wrote in the wrong place. Now it's red light. Why? Because it's outside that I don't know yet range. Or 95,000 green. Isn't that a neat little thing? Yes, in addition to numbers, because that MPV of 5,827 may not mean much to people who are not that into what you're doing. But people understand green light, okay? People understand red light and yellow light. Yellow light means we gotta be careful about this thing. Let's look at more detail and that sort of stuff. Technically speaking, in terms of finance books, it's either red or green. But as we're gonna do a lot of example, life is not that simple. There are a lot of situations when you're building a project, there are optionalities built in. I mean, we're going to learn how to make these projections, but these are projections. That means, on average, what do I expect to make? But sometimes, your projections, uh, even if you are unbiased, nature is going to say, no, thank you. Things are not going to be as bright as you thought they were going to be. The first year, you're going to see a negative outcome. You were expecting 100,000, you ended up getting 50. That tells you, okay, either our projections were too rosy or the world has changed. In that scenario, a project that is barely profitable may no longer be profitable. That means you actually have an option to abandon that project. If it's not making money, it's typically a lot better to say goodbye early on. A lot of restaurant owners make that mistake. They stick around too much and they end up going bankrupt. You did a restaurant, you thought it was a good idea, customers didn't. Within 6 months, you should see what's going on, or a year. If it's not going, just shut down the whole thing, sell your stuff, and minimize your losses. Or things actually are a lot better than you thought they would be. That's going to give you an option to expand. And in basic finance, we never covered NPV calculations with those options, but in this class, especially when you're doing a new business, entrepreneurial business, those are facts of life. Things are going to be either worse than what you thought they would be or a lot better than. And if you see an option that things are much better, you're going to expand the business. In fact, anytime you build a business, it's always a good idea to build steps to it. Okay. So that if things do not go that well, you can get out early. But if things actually do well, you can add additional stages and so on and so forth. Which that sort of stuff we're going to handle in this class. That's why when I do something like this, I want to have that yellow light range, and you can determine, what that range is. In fact, we can even make that into a parameter. I haven't done it, but you could. We're going to calculate. Another measure is internal rate of return. This is the discount rate. This is the value for discount rate. That makes NPV 0. And Excel function is easy for that. And its decision rule is simple. If the internal rate of return is higher than your cost of capital or discount rate, you accept it. Otherwise, you don't. Again, I'm going to create some sort of yellow light range over there as well. One thing about internal rate of return, if the project cash flows are not conventional, which means there are possibly negative cash flows in the future, the equation that defines internal rate of return does not have a unique solution, which means the entire concept of internal rate of return is meaningless, which we're going to do something about. But otherwise, it's rather simple. And Excel has a nice little function. It's called IRR. Okay. And you're going to enter all the cash flows starting with the negative of the cost of project and rest of them. Was. Oh, maybe. Let's see. It should be doing it. You're going to make me put a negative in front of this. Let's see. Oh, I had formulas here. Let me copy that formula. Just the formulas. Maybe we should write our own function for IRR and then go from there, which we will. It's not that complicated. And I'll do similar formatting here. Just for the hell of it, I'm going to change icon set. Green to black. I'm doing this just for a variation. I mean, you don't have to do it. Manage rules. Okay, we're gonna do these by formulas. If IRR is greater than discount rate plus 2%, I'm gonna make it green. Otherwise, if it's greater or equal to discount rate plus 1%, I'm gonna make it yellow. Otherwise, if it's greater than or equal to discount rate minus 1%, otherwise it's going to be black. So if IRR is 2% or above the discount rate, green. Within plus or minus 1% of discount rate, yellow. Uh, then red, okay.